Hey guys, Kapualani here. I wanted to do a little preview of part two for you before we dive into this week's reading for the Lionsgate and full moon energies coming up the 8th and 9th. Of course, this is timeless, so always take what resonates, leave the rest behind. But I wanted to add in that I did, in fact, put together a guided meditation workshop for us. So this next one, part two, is going to be a little bit lengthy. I believe it's like 50 something minutes, and I believe we've got 10 minutes or 10 to 50 minutes. I believe it's maybe just around 10 minutes or so, maybe a little longer than that, but of the guided meditation workshop. But I did decide also, aside from the oracles, the angel oracles, which I did flip them over. I mean, you may see them on the website. I may choose to use a clip of this instead, so that, it can give us a fair shake in terms of asking those questions. But as I was saying, I decided to also add in a little bonus with my Magdalene Oracle. I love my Magdalene Oracle is very, very powerful. This is just the cover of the box. You have an idea, um, but a lot of really rich guidance this time around. So I hope that you'll join us in part two. It's pay what you can, for those who are not aware. So anything, the suggested offering is like from $1.11 plus. Okay, anything more is just a bonus, and very deeply grateful for to you and for your support, for showing up. So let's hop in to part one. See you in a bit. Aloha and welcome in, Soul Family, Soul Ohana. I hope that you're doing well. I am Kapualani, and we're here with your timeless guidance, your timeless reading. We will be focusing and intending for this reading to provide guidance and messages for the Lionsgate and the full moon. Lionsgate on the 8th, of course, full moon, I believe, on the 9th. So I invite you, actually, if you'd like, I'm going to do something a little bit different. You can pause the video, and I invite you to take a moment just to get out a pen and paper, or just your notes on your phone or whatever, and write out some goals, and or intentions that you would like to set for our time together today. And while I say this often, and I do apologize in advance for coming off a little bit maybe non-committal, I'm holding space to also offer a guided meditation workshop when we go into the part two. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that there's a part two to these videos at kapualani.com/extensions. And so if you'd like to, you can take a moment of pause to just think about some goals or meditations that you have for this Lionsgate and this full moon. So it's a little bit symbiotic. In saying that the full moon is all about releasing, right? Clearing and releasing with this Lionsgate energy. Part of what I'm getting here is working with that full moon energy, and obviously, yes, the Lionsgate portal. So, when you're seeing this, or whenever you're ready to see this, no matter when it is, all right, just know that the energy healing, and the messages here are in fact timeless. Okay, so like energy, it's infinite. So I'm gonna go ahead and do an opening prayer and tune excuse me, chime my tuning fork here. We're going to do some sound healing, sound clearing, and intention setting. So again, if you want to take a moment to pause the video, focus on your goals or intentions for this first part of the reading, and just downloads and so forth, go ahead and do that, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, all right, so I'm going to, of course, chime my tuning fork 3 times, giving us a moment to maybe do some breath work, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth with a ha or a sigh. As you breathe in through the nose, I invite you to just call in your ancestors, your higher power, God, source, creator, spirit, light, universe, Mother Earth, of course, and your angels and archangels, your spirit guides and spirit teams. And then as you exhale, setting that intention to release anything and everything no longer serving your highest timeline, your highest good. Okay, as well as giving thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to all past, present, and future, all aspects, levels, layers, and lineages of yourself, your ancestry, and so forth. Thank you for for being here. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, so I hope that you're doing well, and if not, hopefully the messages and insights here will offer you some guidance. And if you are doing well, either way, hopefully the messages and insights here will offer you some solid guidance and resonance. So, Spirit, what is the message for us at this point in this collective gathering here? Thank you. What do we need to know? What do we need to hear? What do we need to receive in regards to this Lionsgate energy? All right, so we've got the Fool. This is very interesting. And I don't even know why that came out. This is very interesting. But I feel like, okay, thank you, Spirit. Just as much as we spoke about the Lionsgate and the full moon energies, kind of like, releasing and clearing the past, the Fool is this fresh start. So you're ready. You're ready for a reset. You're ready for a new beginning, of course. You're ready to leave the past behind. And I'm hearing cut yourself loose, cut yourself free from all of the baggage, all of the trauma, all of the heartache and the sorrow that you have been working to clear, working to process, working to release and be released from. That is what this energy and this cycle is providing for us. Okay. So let's get some insights. Okay, from this to this full energy here. Spirit, what are the insights that this full energy can offer us? And I actually feel called to maybe just place this full here for now. What is this leading up to? What is this full connected to? What are some deeper messages or insights? Thank you, Spirit. The Empress. Oh my gosh. So there's definitely feelings of fertility here with the full, obviously being that child energy, childlike energy, new life, of course. And again, I'm getting it very strongly with the reset. And there's a focus on abundance, prosperity, wealth. There's a focus on self fulfillment, a focus on self empowerment from the ground up. I always mention this, so please forgive me if this gets annoying, guys, but full energy is that Pisces energy. Pisces is the healer energy, right? And then the Empress energy is that Taurus energy. So practicality and really honoring the senses is what I'm getting. Luxury, comfort, and stability, really big time. So we're going out of this space even of feeling like the Fool, on a shadow level, feeling kind of like you're wandering aimlessly, like this person here, this guy, this individual looks a little bit like funky, like, whoa, what's going on? And then we transition into that divine feminine, that sacred feminine energy where, you know what I'm saying? Even in terms of the focus, going from this kind of, I don't know if you're having things going on with your neck, head, shoulders type thing, if there's headache or pressure, things of that nature, you're going to be getting clear of that. Okay. And so part of it is about really paying attention to your body, like with this Empress energy. Okay, honor your body, honor your process. I'm feeling called to do a Celtic cross on this one, and I don't know, we'll see what happens moving forward. Okay, but I'm just feeling that calling. So yes, new life for sure. And part of this Empress energy in this position is part of maybe what's blocking you as well from feeling like you're capable of generating that sense of personal power and authority. All right, but you're very, very capable. All right. So, Spirit, what's the foundation of this energy looking like for us right away? Look at this, the Nine of Pentacles. So you're already like that close. You're just one step away, like maybe two, because technically the Nine of Pentacles is that step before the Queen of Pentacles, and then that step before Empress mode, right? So this is the foundation. You're working on stabilizing your own core sense of independence on a wealth level, on a health level, on all the things. Okay. You've already managed to come this far, right? This is that foundation again of what you're working with, where you're at. Okay. And so that's where Spirit is saying, mind your present moment. Okay, because presently you may not feel it or you may not be recognizing it, But this is that time to really honor how far you've come, your accomplishments, your achievements. Really start to, as you root into that sense of self fulfillment and contentment. It is not stagnation, okay? That's allowing for you, mind, body, and soul, to root that energy into your current reality. And in doing so, when you deepen the roots, right, all that can do is what? Provide the stability and strength for more growth and expansion to happen. And right now, that is part of the challenge, is the expansion part, is the part where you're feeling like I'm not just one, I feel like I'm constantly one step behind, rather than a step or two ahead. Like, I want to just feel that sense of satisfaction. This individual is standing, whereas the Empress is sitting at the throne. So we're making our way there. But there could be some blockages. There could be some things, like, I feel like, on some sort of a level, a challenge with owning your sense of personal power and authority, not being in a position to really recognize it or feel it, or maybe that's what you're working toward. But for whatever reason, it's kind of like it feels like that sense of authority and power is eluding you. There may be a blockage with finances in terms of self worth, and in terms of really seeing what you're capable of, okay, taking control of your reality and your timeline by getting very real, very physical here, because we've got, again, Taurus energy with the Empress, we've got that earth energy, so Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo with the Pentacles, and of course, again, that Piscean energy. So we're setting the stage for a new timeline here. Wow. And already, what are we leaving behind? The past. Four of Wands. Okay. And what are we recognizing? What also may be impacting us moving forward? There has been a new beginning established. All right. There has been a vision that's come together. Look at this now. The mother and the child are one. So this is also about you embracing your own inner child. You've been doing that, and there's something that may have been catalyzed recently. And when I say recent, for some, it may be like the past few years recent. I want to say, for whatever reason, up to 5 years, which we know what was 5 years ago, but 2020, right? So something that really catalyzed this shift in kind of like forcing you to address what's going on internally. Okay. So you may have recently relocated. There may have been a new relationship possibility, potential that kind of kicked off. And, when I say recent, again, it could be years, it could be months, it could be days. All right. Just feel what resonates for you. Okay. But the examples that I give are just see that as a template from which to build upon. But yes, and so there is a solid vision that's already taken place. You don't need to worry too much more about getting things stabilized. You already are coming from this space of spiritual, energetic, creative, psychic vision. The life force, the actions that it takes to get something set up have already been put into motion. There may have been a new partnership that formed, whether it's love based or work based, creative based. Okay, so you're coming from these positive positions here. And now on the flip side, that may be, again, a place where you're feeling a bit of lack, and maybe you're not feeling so inspired. All right. So, what's coming through, Spirit? What is the aim? What is the goal? What is coming into fruition? What's working in our favor? Look at this, the Six of Cups. So there's the past and what judgment. These cards are really powerful. These cards are really powerful, guys. I know you get that, and you probably hear me say things like that often, but I mean, like, look at these cards. I love this deck. Thank you to my homegirl who gifted me this deck. I won't call you out in case you just want to maintain your anonymity. But Six of Cups and Judgment. So definitely the past, okay, and something being revived, second chance. Okay, when we have the Six of Cups, it's memories, right? I don't want to block out the Queen's face there. Sorry, Queen. The Empress, rather. um Let me tune in for a second. Okay, okay. If there was a goal or something from the past that I'm hearing, like, put your heart and soul into but didn't quite see results, or maybe you saw some results but it just wasn't lasting, it just didn't stick, you're going to have a second chance to do it over again. You're going to have some form of a revelation about the past and why you went through the stuff that you went through, why certain things worked out and certain things didn't work out. Okay, anywhere that wrong was done to you, for example, it's Judgment Day. All right, so make sure that in on an intention level, make sure that on an energy level you're walking in that light, okay? Because there will be a judgment call of sorts, there will be some kind of a significant shift, some type of clarity again, or some sort of enlightenment about past events and why you went through the things that you had gone through, especially as it relates to relationship. And when I say relationship, again, this can be love, this can be in terms of romantic, it can be work related, it can be socially related, it can, you know what I mean, it can be just with other people. It doesn't have to just be about romance, just to be clear. So your interactions with others, okay, family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, that sort of thing. You may also see a revival of certain connections from the past. And if they are not with those people exactly, and this is on the bright side, okay, there's something that's being renewed and re inspired here. There's something that's being reignited, all right? Something that was hidden that is becoming revealed, something from the past that eluded you, you're going to get clarity on, or again, have some form of a breakthrough and an understanding of why something happened or again did not happen. So what's in the future for us, spirit? What's in the future? What's coming through? Oop, there we go. We're getting some double cards here. So we got the Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. So a bit of this recovery energy that's happening. You may not be feeling at your best. You may be feeling a little bit like a pauper, whether that is literally physically on a financial level, if it's on a social level. Someone is going to be coming through with messages, and or this is Spirit's way of saying, don't hide out, okay? Don't allow yourself to feel as though you're being left behind. Take the initiative, take the action. All right, give yourself a little bit of credit. There's something that needs to sort of slow down for the repair to happen. I feel like there may be some movement here. You may need to spend a little bit of money, like you may be spending some money, or you may be extending your energy, spending your money, your time, your energy, that will, maybe for a short while you'll feel a little bit depleted, but that's where, and it could be again due to having to travel, and we know that travel can cost a little bit of money sometimes. So what's the message with that, spirit? Again, we got two cards coming out. So we have the Ten of Wands and we have the Stars. All right, so there's a lot of cards coming through here, y'all. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I had to check in with spirit and how they wanted me to lay all of this out. Um what you're going to be moving into, all right, you might feel a bit again of exhaustion, depletion, or like you're feeling left out, but this is you closing out certain cycles. There are certain things that need to happen in order for those cycles to come to a close and to open up to something new, like this Ten of Wands and the Star energy. Try to stay grounded in terms of your spending. Again, whether it's your money, whether it's your time and your energy or your focus. There is healing that's going to take place after a time of struggle, after a time of overwhelm, after a time of burden, energetic burden. I feel like it's your energy levels that are feeling a bit shot or run down. You will experience healing from that, but try to stay grounded and try not to do too much too soon, too fast. That may happen here. What's the surrounding environment like? What energies are surrounding us at this time, spirit? Thank you. And I'm thinking, guys, that in part two, I may just use a different deck and see what happens, because we're getting a lot of doubles here and I want to see what else comes through. So we've got the Seven of Wands, we've got the Six of Wands, really interesting. So a lot of wands, a lot about this like psychic energy, creative energy, clearing that fire that's coming through. So, okay. Again, I'm getting this calling to mind your energy levels, to push through. There may be competitive forces around you, competitive energies. All right, there may be friction. This may not be personal, it may just be from the collective. Like for example, you go to the grocery store, they don't have what you need, and so you have to go to like two or three different grocery stores just to get what you need. there's something here also with this fire season, the Leo season, that I feel is going to have a significant impact or potentially a toll on your energy levels and your ability to focus your creative energies. All right. But you will overcome, because we do have that Six of Wands showing up here, but it may be a little bit of a struggle. You may, again, need to really assert yourself, focus your energies, not get distracted, okay, by external influences. Tune in and listen to your own core voice. We got two sixes showing up here, which deals with relationships, harmony, and balance. All right. I feel like part of what I'm also getting is, don't get distracted again by external influences. Okay. Um, you have it in you to overcome any potential challenges or obstacles, and you're not alone. Like, these double cards are giving me this almost like a double feeling or a double meaning, so it could be like this twofold thing that's happening, or like one path here, one path here. So if you are traveling, especially if it's like by plane, or if it's something that's a short trip where you're going, coming and going back and forth, there's something here about just taking the time to slow down and be a bit more methodical about your steps, is what I'm picking up on. So let's see what else is coming through spirit here. I mean, I just keep getting two and two and two. So there's definitely something there to the Hangman, Piscean energy again. I'm sorry, the Fool. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. The Fool is Aquarius energy. Please forgive me. Got to correct myself. And another seven. So sixes and sevens coming through here. But there is a transformation that's happening. Okay, there is a transformation and an opportunity to see yourself, your circumstances, and situation from a different perspective here. Not everything is as it seems, not everyone is as they seem, and you're going to start to see through a lot of facades. You're going to start to see through and again, like I said, that revelation, things that you weren't able to really identify before. And I feel like that may be why part of you may be feeling a little bit down on your luck, like, why didn't I see this sooner? Why didn't I realize this sooner? Why didn't I do this or take these steps sooner? Like, I should have done all of this sooner. I should have had this realization earlier. I wish that I had been in a position where I could have recognized and seen the signs, or maybe the signs were right in front of me and I just totally didn't see it. I missed out on it. I feel that kind of a resonance coming through with the message. And so it's about self-forgiveness here. All right. Part of the fear is being caught up, put on hold. There could be some concerns or fears about, you know, people lying to you, or not telling you the whole truth, or not being able to see everything that's ahead of you or in front of you. Okay. There could be some concerns or fears about even as much as you try to make plans and put something forward, like I'm overlooking a detail. So that's where it's about, okay, just because you can't see all of the path that's ahead or control it, it doesn't mean that you need to keep yourself on hold. Okay, so that's what I'm getting with that message right there. So spirit, what's our outcome energy? What's our outcome and closing message here, spirit? Thank you. Okay, another double. Why am I surprised? I'm not surprised. Okay, so we've got the Eight of Swords. We've got the High Priestess. So something is going to be in a space of development. Trust your senses. This is not a time to try to force. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable with certain things for a while, but you're going to get through. But it's about trusting your instincts and your intuition. You may take this to someone who has an intuition, a spiritual healer, or a seer of some sort, who can assist you in your goals and support you in that regard. It doesn't have to be the case. I feel like, just as a note, High Priestess, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energies. Um, but something is in a state of development. All right, whatever the goals are that you have. And also, we want to keep in mind that this is not just a Lionsgate, but there's an influence of the full moon as well. Okay, we have that full moon influence that we're dealing with. And just keep in mind, remember, the full moon is about clearing, the full moon is about releasing. Okay, so we're going to be in that influence, but there's definitely a sacred feminine, a divine feminine energy here. Whatever it is that you're wanting right now, it's still in the manifestation phase, but the focus here is about honoring and recognizing the past so that you can release it and be released from it once and for all, is what I'm getting. Okay. While there may still be certain feelings of regret or depletion, exhaustion that you're dealing with and managing, it will pass. It may not clear as swiftly or quickly as you would like. I'm sorry, but it will pass and you will get through it. Okay. So part of it, again, it's going to be up to you to again pay attention to the signs and synchronicities, to listen to your spiritual self and your spiritual guidance. But there is something that is evolving and developing, especially because we go from like the Seven of Swords to the Eight of Swords. So again, and even with the Hangman and the Eight of Swords, there are certain things that are simply beyond your control right now. So it's about surrendering to your higher power, surrendering to the process, but not feeling entrapped or stuck by your inability to take action in certain ways. There's other ways that you can assert and apply yourself. Right now, it's about conserving your energy and listening to your gut. You're listening to your instincts, okay? Um, I feel like, even in, let me see, with these energies here that's around you. Again, we've got the Seven of Wands and the Six of Wands. You do have support around you. It may not feel that way completely because it may feel like there's a little, like, okay, it may take more than one try to get on the same page or to recognize that you are on the same page with others and stand in your own light, stand in your own power, and don't be afraid to really honor both, the balance between your independence as well as leaning on others, for example. Okay. All right. So I feel like, that being said, we're gonna go to our animal guide because that's just what I do. And in part two, for those interested, if these messages have resonated, we're just going to do a continuation of this, get some deeper guidance and so forth. I may use the same deck, I may use a different deck. We'll see what happens because there's just a lot of cards here. And we'll see. But I know it's repetitive, and if you guys want me to change things up, just let me know. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with these. Part two, we're gonna ask the angels. So if you have a yes no question, you can ask the angels, get an answer there. We're also gonna bust out the romance angels, okay? And ask, you can ask them as well. It doesn't have to be about love, as I always say. But we are gonna pull from the animal spirit book. I'm gonna do this reading now, get a card, and then in part two, I'll read from the book, the meaning from the book, okay, for deeper insights. But what is the animal spirit guide with us today? Okay. About whale, we saw whale energy before. So whales, it's there's something with communication. I am feeling the energy of a deeper sense of knowing and knowledge. Whales are the our guardians of the planet, and so I feel like this is also calling to just I'm hearing just going with the flow. Don't be afraid to go deeper. There's something also potentially with sound and sound healing, but definitely healing energies and consciousness. Okay. um I will save the deeper definitions for part two in the book. And I may actually pull out a different oracle as well in part two. So we'll just see. You can check out my website, kapualani.com, to schedule a session, or kapualani.com/extensions for the part two to this video. And stay tuned. You'll know, I'll leave a note on my Instagram, in my stories or in the description, or you can visit my website to get confirmation as to whether or not I include a guided meditation. I will do my best to offer that, but we'll see. All right, we'll see. But till next time, I will see you either in the next round or part two. Thanks for being here.